this class, we will be discussing New Indian cinema as it expressed itself in the western part of the country. We will be concentrating on at least one exceedingly important film in Gujarati, namely Ketan Mehta's Bhavni Bhavai, and several in Marathi. To start with Bhavni Bhavai. You see, Gujarati cinema has not been known for originality. It has largely been a derivative cinema, imitative, depending on the inferior quality of films, I would say, made in Bombay. Now, when something as fantastic happened, as fantastic as Bhavni Bhavai, not only were film aficionados in Gujarat or in the western part of the country, but in the entire country, they felt very happy. Something like suddenly a rich fruit-bearing tree had appeared in the midst of a barren waste. In this connection, let us go to Ketan Mehta's words. Mehta came prepared from the Film Institute in Pune. He said, "While I was in college, I was active in street theatre. From college, we would go out on the road into jhuggis, meaning slums, and put up instant one-act plays against imperialism. At the Film Institute, I realized all cinema is political. It either wants change or cunningly maintains the status quo. Every film reflects the ideology of its director, whether he supports justice or evil." Mehta's debut film, Bhavni Bhavai, represents the kind of start to an artist's career which exists only in dreams. The Bhavai is a form of folk drama in Gujarat. What was this film about? You see, there used to be a time in the history of Gujarat. Now, Asait Thakur, a Gujarati poet and a social reformer who was actually a Brahmin, some hundreds of years ago, he wrote a lot against untouchability and used the Bhavai form to express himself. So this film was radical as much in its form as in its politics. Bhavni Bhavai was, however, unfortunately, the kind of special event that Mehta was destined not to revisit in a disappointingly uneven career. Ketan Mehta made another important film, not as important as Bhavni Bhavai, but certainly one capable of doing credit to his the image that he had, the reputation he had formed with Bhavni Bhavai. That was Mirch Masala. But after that, we find a steady decline in the quality of his work. Now we now move on to Marathi cinema. The early films of the actor turned director Amol Palekar, especially Akrit, so a film that talks about the barrenness of a woman and recourse to superstition to have a child. Another very important film in Marathi, Sarvasakshi by Ramdas Putane. And then we have the other kind of films in Marathi new cinema. That's Jabbar Patel's Sinhasan and Umbartha. Umbartha is about a spirited young wife who takes on a job, and after some initial conflict, friction with her husband, they settle down to tentative peace. And Sinhasan about the waywardness of the political class. Now, New Indian cinema is not particularly noted for period pieces. Historical films by Indian directors have lacked authenticity. Mainly, you'll be able to give me very few examples, but one Marathi film which may be favorably cited in this context is Nachiket and Jayu Patwardhan's 22nd June 1897. This film was about the young Shafekar brothers of Pune who assassinated two British officers, and all the brothers were sentenced to death. This film was noted for the atmosphere of the period that was evoked. The directors are particularly good in their sense of decor. And the story was told in a moving, authentic idiom. So this film, which has, I think, been overlooked by some people, ought to be assessed anew. Now we arrive at more recent times when Maharashtra, especially Pune, the Pune school, they are redefining, so to say, reinventing New Indian cinema. A new avatar is appearing before our eyes. Very contemporary, very relevant, very modern, entertaining in its own way, and questioning all the same, questioning accepted values. The two names very important in this context are Sumitra Bhavai, a sociologist turned filmmaker, and her artistic collaborator Sunil Suktankar, a trained filmmaker from the Pune Film Institute. They came to the fore with their very first film called Doghi, which is about two sisters.
त्याला सांगितलं तर गंधागत वाटेल मेहंदी. सांगूया का? मावशी आले वाटतं अक्के. आईला सांगितलं काय बोलणार? आईला सांगितलं माझी मावशी आली.
But you see, after that, they have also made a couple of films, and on hindsight, we can say that they were honing their skills till they surprise us with a gem of a film called Vastu Purush, Guardian Spirit of the House, made in 2002, and follow it up with an even more accomplished work called Ek Cup Chai, a cup of tea, 2009. This is a expression almost synonymous with contemporary Indian life, where corruption is an institution. It touches each of us in some way or the other every day. We pretend it doesn't exist, but it does. And it's better for us to confront this malaise. through such a film than to try and hide the dirt under the carpet.
एक रुपया सुटा नाही मागून घ्या.
राहू दे
अहो नाही राहू द्या नाही मागून घ्या तुम्ही.
अहो एक कप चहा प्या त्यातनं.
अहो तुमच्या कमाईचा घामाचा एक कप चहा मी प्यालो तर मला पचल का काय?
एक कप chai. Kashinath Sawant, a humble bus conductor with the Maharashtra roadways, is suddenly slapped with an electricity bill in the region of 70,000 rupees. This is a story with which many a modern Indian can identify himself or herself. He goes from pillar to post telling the Babus there is something wrong with the bill. Please have it amended. Instead of listening to his pleas, they cut the connection. Literally and metaphorically, he and his family, consisting of a young wife, an old mother, 3 grown-up children, all of them are plunged in the dark. Thanks to a piece of legislation called Right to Information and to the solid support of a social activist, Bull, then Vihir, the well, and finally wins a couple of years ago the Swarna Kamal as best film of the year, Deul, the temple.
नचादा लागली चल ना आत्ता चल ना रे प्लीज प्लीज चल ना. रात्रीचं चांदणं किती छान दिसतं ना.
आईला चांदणं खूप आवडतं. ती बऱ्याचदा रात्री अंगणात बसते. कधी विचारलं तर म्हणते बापाची वाट बघतीये. पण मला तर नेहमी ती चांदणं बघतानाच दिसली. बापा
About our Sachin Kundalkar, his film Restaurant is about 2 women with emotional scars who get together to start a small restaurant, and they show that it is possible to make a profit each month without resorting to many of the methods that hotel honchos, big hotels, resort to.
पद्माका, तुम्ही घरामध्ये वेगळं स्वयंपाकघर असं नाही केलं का? काय नाही.
आणि जेने विरुद्ध निकाल लागला तर उद्या
बघू म्हणजे सगळं सोडून जावं लागणार.
जेने बाळा, आज इथंच झोप तू.
So with this we conclude the final lesson, third and final, New Indian Cinema, A View from the West. Now, if you have any questions, I'll try and answer them as well as I can.
It's all right, sir.
It's okay?
It's okay.
So thank you for your attention.